Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to another episode of It's Never Sunny in Duskvol. We're taking a quick little break from our regular streaming of Blades. We're doing a special game today because Asteyni was missing, and we also haven't played in a couple weeks. I felt like I need Duskvol in my life, right? So like we needed more of it here. And I know a lot of people want to come out and check it out what it's like online, but we're gonna do something a little bit special today. Kind of like how we've done Lacuna for Psychonauting in Blades so far. We are now going to go play a game called Kingdom by Ben Robbins instead of in Doskvol. And we're gonna be following that today. And we're gonna be doing another gang other than just our regular It's Never Sunny crew. So I'm really excited about that and hope you guys enjoy. But before we jump on into the depressing cloak and dagger filled world of Duskfall, let's see what's going on in the lives of everyone here in the real life reality world. Our two players this week, Paul, aka Liefington, and Kelsa. So Kelsa, take it away. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. I've also missed Blades in my life. So I am happy to be exploring Dustfall through a new and exciting route. I have a lot of cool stuff coming up next week. I'm starting 2 new shows, which I'll probably tell about more later at the end if we got time, as well as guesting on Time to Tabletop, which is a new channel that I just found out actually is right in my neighborhood, and like literally.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And where they actually game, like everybody gets together in one place. And I know that's weird because this is the internet, but it turns out we just all live near each other, so it works.
Yeah, I mean hey, if I could, I would do that critical role.
Yeah.
That's that's the way to do it, honestly. That's like one of the, I'm sorry, that's one of the ways to do it. There's not a placebo. Or not placebo. Panacea is the word I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the
Yeah,
word.
not placebos? No. Okay. Well,
This is all a
words.
placebo.
Yeah. Words, right? Fucking words. Speaking of words, Paul, I hope you're doing okay, my friend.
Uh, I have a lot of time, which is not quite ideal because I would love to be working, but at least I get to draw like a shit ton again,
Oh,
which I
that's
am
so
happy
good.
with.
Ah, I'm so
Uh,
happy.
and like it's all sketches. If you want to see them, they're on Twitter. But the best thing is that I made a set of cheer modes for Caitlin's channel, and they're now live, and it's
And they
super
look
nice.
amazing.
Oh, that's so good. I need to check that out. I haven't seen her emotes in so long. I actually, hold on. I'm subscribed to her. I should really just
But
sign in.
yeah, like it's it's uh, it's fun doing animation. It's very time consuming, but having already existing art assets is like a huge shortcut. So I could just like copy paste and then move stuff around and then just make sure it's good. But like also like I want this arm to move, but then you have to like everywhere it overlaps, you have to like cut that out, and it's a it's a lot of work, but it's fun.
I can imagine it's a lot. It seems really detail oriented, dealing with literally paint at that level.
Yeah, and it's tiny. It's
Yeah,
damn, like anyone who can make emotes well, like on 28 pixels wide, it's like holy shit.
you are an artist. That's awesome. That's really really cool. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and jump over to play some King. We only have a couple hours. So I don't think
Oh yeah.
I think we're gonna take a few. We're gonna play for about 3 hours ish, 2.5, and we're not gonna take a break. So we're just gonna kind of jump through it. I think maybe you might take one halfway. I'll let you guys know. We'll play it by ear. We were playing a game called Kingdom. Kingdom is a very very fun game, as I mentioned, by Ben Robbins. He's the guy who made Microscope. And it's a game about communities. And today we're taking a look at the sprites. The faction is going to be our community today, and they are one of the classic big factions. Duskfall. They are the ones responsible for keeping the not the electro rails because those are the rail jacks, but electro fences, as well as the rest of the essentially.
And
up and
provide
running
power.
and provide power to everybody. That's going to be what we're looking at. A little bit about like who we are and all that, those kinds of things in just a second. So now Paul, you have not played King, right?
Not
Cool.
ever.
So Paul is going to be our little audience surrogate for someone who's not played before. Kelsa has played now one time, and I've played a handful. So we kind of decided a little bit on what our kingdom is. It's a spark rights. The first thing we're going to do is talk a little bit about the threats that our kingdom face. Okay, so because we're the spark rights, keep that in mind. One of the things that they're trying to do is trying to research an alternate power, and nobility keeps trying to, like, the people who have a lot of Leviathan blood or make their money off Leviathan blood do not want a new power source to come into power and get their bottom line. So like that's like the only thing we know about this. The rest of it's kind of up to us with. So I think as far as threats go, we should come up just like a handful of them, maybe. So obviously the first one is noble conspiracy or alternative power source. That's one of my. What do you guys think? You guys are muted.
So I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a danger to the faction, but like to me it's obvious that it's incredibly dangerous work
too. Yeah.
Because you're working with like super high voltage equipment and equipment that if it malfunctions, then you're gonna get attacked by ghosts.
Yeah. So here's something I want to ask you. Because we can actually break this into two threats if you want. One is that ghosts are getting more clever and stronger, and two is that the electro fences are breaking down more often. Right.
Those both make sense as kind of interconnected threats. I like both of those.
All right, ghosts are getting stronger. And then I'll also write as a threat, the fences are malfunctioning. There we go. Well, I should make a little noter.
And what if...
You can have one more if you want.
I was going to say, what if one of the threats is like political? Like... that maybe there is, I don't know how to say it exactly, but basically like
talk it out.
Some other faction is trying to take over the like electro fence maintenance business, or like try to discredit them and be like, hey, they're not really doing their job. We could do it better. Or like trying to...
Is it like an interfactional?
It might be. Could be.
Oh, like there's like okay.
Or, like I picture it like
there's like a broken off group of the Sparkrights who want to like get more power. Is that the idea?
Yeah. Like another group that wants to get more power, or maybe there's this goes back to the nobles who are there's a different faction of nobles that are like trying to like bleed them out of money by making the Leviathan blood more expensive, and
they want to privatize it essentially.
Basically, yeah.
That's what Freckled Elder has mentioned in of that. So, we could say, I'm just gonna say like, replace them with a private faction.
Yeah, like because I feel like the Sparkrights are like government owned.
Yeah, right. They're like what's
the term?
They have a charter. They have a charter from like the mayor or like the governor or the maybe even the imperial magistrate.
Yeah, I mean, just like I feel like they are probably the least corrupt of the government services that are offered in Duskvol. Like, there's the Blue Coats, who are the equivalent of the police. They are very corrupt.
They're a utility company. Yeah, they're literally a utility company.
Yeah, they're a utility company. No, exactly. And
Yeah.
they're like utility company that is currently
Thank
run
you,
by the
Robbin.
government. And
Yeah.
then there are factions that want to replace them with a privatized utility company.
Yeah.
And
AKA, when we say privatized, what we really mean is that people who are favorable with them smuggling stuff in and out of stuff, right?
Right, exactly. And by private, we don't mean like a person.
Yeah.
We mean like nobility, because nobles aren't
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Yeah.
Favorable guild nobles. That sounds good. All right. So there's some pretty good like overview of some threats. That's really good. Now the last thing we should do is come up with a couple locations just offhand about places in this game that we think would be really interesting, things we want, and then we can start making our characters.
So I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna look at the Blades Sparkright, the Blades book and the Sparkrights here. They have some turf locations, and I think each one of these would be very good as locations. A massive workshop, and it says a massive workshop. It says massive workshop, comma factory, comma and design facility in Coleridge. So I think all three of those, like the workshop, the factory, and the design facility, are all three separate locations. That would be good, as well as the Charter Hall University, which is where like a lot of the research takes place, which is of course in Charter Hall instead of in Coleridge. If you're following along at home and know what the different Blades
So we're saying
locations
I'll say workshop, Coleridge, University. That's in Charter Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Doskvol University or is that Charter Hall University?
Charter Hall University.
Heck. Awesome. So now we got workshop, Coleridge, University, Charter Hall.
Maybe like a place at the fence. And I'm thinking like it could be either the Lost District fence because it's kind of new.
Yeah.
Or like an old part, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
it's a decrepit and that's why it's breaking all the time.
Cool. So I'm just put the fence, we call it. Let's see. Duskvol Academy is in White Crown, but yeah, Charter Hall.
Charter Hall University is different. If you want to also put the Duskvol Academy in White Crown, I mean, that could be another location that we go to sometimes.
Ron, do we want the workshop to be different than like an experimental laboratory?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be a separate place.
Okay, I'll say the experimental labs, and I'll put them.
Like they might be close, but you know, they'd be physically separated locations.
What's the name of the Barrow? Is it Barrowcleft? What's no, Silk Shore. Silk Shore is the one I was thinking of. The one near it's near the energy powers, right?
Silk Shore is the one that is near the rail lines, where the rail lines come in and out. You have maps, Eric.
Oh, I have to look at this one. Yeah, Silk Shore. Yeah, Silk Shore and Barrowcleft. I'm thinking of Barrowcleft. I'm thinking of the Barrowcleft.
Okay.
Barrowcleft. Experimental labs in Barrow. Cool. This is like our hidden R&D. The workshop is like where we repair things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
is the workshop
a place
and the
in the
factory
docks
the same place?
Where they get their Leviathan blood? Because that powers everything right now.
That's good. That's good. Warehouse in the docks.
Yeah, warehouse. Yeah.
Was it a processing plant or warehouse or both?
No, it could be both. It could be both.
I'm curious.
Well, like it would depend on if they would have it on the ship something ready, or if they just suck it out of the demon and then they just hose it into some tank and the dock, and it's like, well, it's your problem now. Right. I think mechanically like it doesn't really matter.
No, I don't think it really matters.
But it's a place in the dock where you get your Leviathan blood, and it's
Yeah.
mostly the spark rights who buy all of that anyway, but there may be some other like small uses or some
Now,
falls off the back or like there's a
Mhm.
little left in the tank and some other people buy it
yeah.
too. But
These aren't the just for also for the record, these are places that we're not limited to per se. This is also just places that kind of get our mind going in the right direction. In terms of just ideas for scenes. We're not limited
yeah,
to it. But I think of it like a yes in the if we're doing a game with the palette.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. So I need one more place. I think I'm going to put I want to do something like something with the I'm thinking of something about the nobility, where they would meet somebody for nobility. Let's say,
Good call.
I'm gonna call it a holding company, right?
Oh.
Holding company offices. You can call it the holding company. It needs to be called
Right,
something.
that is nice.
Who's the noble? Who's the noble that has the holdings? Because it's called something holdings. Imagine it's something like like Berkshire Holdings. You know what I mean? Like something very like aristocratic sounding. I
Berkshire
don't want to
sounds
do
good.
Skurlock Holdings. I don't want to, or I also don't want to do not Scarlock. I just said that, but the other one,
Stratford or
yeah,
Strangford.
Strangford. Yeah, I don't want to do Strangford. Someone else.
I mean, I was gonna suggest those two. So
I know we were.
Of course.
Because
everything's connected. But
Penderin, thank you. I like Penderin. Yeah, Penderin Holding Company. Okay, cool, got it. Perfect, guys. So now we have our 6 locations. Next thing we're gonna do is come up with our character. All right. So the first thing we want to do with our characters is come up with our role, and I'm gonna spend a hot minute here talking about, or a quick minute about talking about what our roles. I realize I don't have the handout appropriate. But while I'm doing that, I can talk to you a little bit about what's going on here. So, the way we play Kingdom is that there's 3 types of roles. The first one is power, the role of power. This is the type of person in our game who has the authority to make declarative executive actions and decisions about what goes on in the mechanically. They're able to, when the time comes to it, decide whether or not there's a big decision that's going to be looming over our community. They could decide whether or not we take a yes or a no to that question. Ultimately, power can just kind of just override sometimes and decide what happens with actions. To follow that up with, they seem really really powerful. To follow that up with, you have what are called the touchstone. The touchstone are the people who have like the pulse of the community. They're the ones who can be like, if our power was the president, the touchstone could be like the reporter who's like out there seeing how everybody president. Like, oh yeah, well you can make whatever decisions you want, but everyone hates you, right? Or be like, oh yeah, no, people will like you. And then perspective gives you ideas about what's going on, about the overarching problem that we're trying to solve. And they can tell you, they could predict things like an oracle, being like, if we do allow new recruits into the mech special response division of the police academy, of the police force, then there's gonna be a lot more collateral damage, and a lot of rookies are gonna get killed because they're not trained well, right? Or but if we don't do it, then you could be like, well, if we don't put them out there, we don't have enough people in the police force, and Secure Corp's going to come in and privatize everybody, right? So like it kind of makes you're supposed to kind of fuck with the power a little bit in terms of like making their life hard and what. Okay, so those are kind of like the 3 roles. I won't be picking the power because I'm going to be kind of facilitating this game. But this game's kind of GM, so I could ultimately end up becoming, but I'm going to start of the game. So I'm just gonna bring on screen. Power, you're in charge. You tell people what to do. You can use authority to make the kingdom do something. You could like throw a character in jail. Perspective, you predict consequences of the crossroads. You can complicate problems. Touchstones, you decide what the people in the kingdom feel. Okay, and you can change roles. Okay, so now we're gonna come up with who our characters are. We're gonna pick a role for that character, and then we're gonna kind of move on from evolve. I'm gonna open up Blade. quick, and I'm going to have the Spark Rights open to give some ideas for notable NPC. So John has currently listed only one NPC, which is Una Ferros, who's the instructor at Charter Hall University. So that means we are pretty much open to grab whoever we put in this game. Also, even if John did write something in there, we could, I'm totally free to change any of that because you're allowed to make the game your own. So, anyone like feel like they want to be a particular role at the start? I feel like I think I want to take perspective. Game. Cool. Yes. No.
I kind of wanted to start out as Touchstone.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll take power.
You don't have to take power. It's just as long as we're not all the same thing.
Yeah. No, I'll take it for now. And
you can always change.
Like you see, like it can change, right? Like people can usurp your power. You can just be like, no, I'm no longer a powerful character.
Yeah. Totally. Okay. So now I'm thinking about actually being a researcher. Or like I'm thinking about someone being on the tinker, like the leech things. I mean, it might be the researchers. No, they're my research assistant. So I'm gonna be. I have to come up with a really. I'm gonna channel my Austin Walker here for a second, and while I'm doing that, how about someone else goes and says what they. You also feel free to edit over the sheets here with text. While I'm doing that, I'm using Candle at 18 font to fit everything on.
Okay. So I am going to start typing in things. What is this? I said Touchstone. Cool. Let's see. I want to be. Let me give myself a cool name. Names are the hardest part. Like seriously. I'm gonna cheat again. I'm gonna go to the blade sheet. Audrin Danfield.
Odrian? Oh, that's a good name.
Audrin Danfield.
I'm Treblinka Mazda. I'm the Ruvian Master.
I am. What's it like? I think I'm just like a mechanic. Like what's the name of the lightning barrier mechanic?
A Power Ranger.
Yes, precisely.
Well
thank you.
Well played. I like it.
All right. I will be Administrator Sevlin Cross.
Okay.
And I run this shit. I'm the king of our kingdom.
I don't have room to write it in there, but I'm accuracy, so.
So I'm deciding that the Spark Rights, they call the researchers conduits. So I'm the
conduits.
Master, I'm the master conduit.
Nice. I love it.
A+
decision right there.
Cool. Dig it. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come up with our characters' wishes or their fears. Their primary thing that they want to see accomplished in the game. Sort of their goal. And you're going to be either doing a wish or a fear. the object of this game is that we should not have each have the same goal. However, it would be perfectly fair to have the same goal, but one person's goal is the other's fear, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. I think my fear is if we find an alternative power source, I'm out of a job.
Yep.
Damn.
You can change the font.
I got it. Almost. Did it. This angle it's not happy with this exact angle of this paper.
So I think Administrator Cross's wish is that they could just kill the ghosts. So you didn't have to worry about that?
You can end the ghosts once and for all.
Yeah.
Totally. Valid. Mine is so the master conduits is that a new power source can revolutionize. I wish a new power source can revolutionize Doskvol.
Mm.
And when we do that, then we come up with an issue. And our issue is like our vice. It's the thing that could hold us back. It's got to be something that our characters also can't solve on their own, right? So if we had like a deadbeat kid, like our deadbeat brother who kept getting into trouble, we couldn't just, sever ties with them because he's your brother. You know what I mean? Like, so like you could never do that on your own. That's sort of like the idea and principle of the issue. It would be really good if you take something as a vice from regular blades. I feel like that's pretty.
So is this specifically against your wish or fear?
No. For example, in the mecha game that we played the other day, my vice was that I had a drinking problem. That didn't have anything to do with me believing that the rookies, of course, were not going to be fit or. I'm thinking issue that I have debt.
Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at the various vices because vices are fun, and I like the idea of just taking a Blade's vice and just
so mine is
pulling it.
My issue is I have debts to Lady Penderin.
So I wanna. My issue is that there's blackmail going on because of people knowing about bribes and shit I took and things I paid off.
Sure.
To make him just disappear. So I'm being blackmailed.
That's a great issue. Yeah. A fantastic issue.
I think that my issue is that I am I want it to be religious in nature, but I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to phrase it in such a way that's like really an issue, like my devotions to the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh are interfering with my job. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, your obligations to the church.
Yep.
I could see some
like
real weird issues.
devotions. Like it's not like it's not like I have to be there. Like I'm not like an alakite or something. I'm just an acolyte. That's the word. I'm just very faithful.
Isn't alakite? Is that a mineral?
I don't
like a
know.
mineral.
Acolyte is the word I was looking for. Anyway, my devotions.
So it hasn't really come up all that often, but Ecstasy of the Flesh is the one that believes that ghosts should just not exist.
Yes.
They're the
and
ones,
leave us alone.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, because they believe that this it's like an inverse of Christianity. They
Yeah.
believe that the soul is what taints people, and they actually want to be closer to demons, because things that are soulless creatures are seen as religious, right? Creatures without souls means that they're without the taint of and it's a perversion. Cool.
Zombie Jesus.
Ocean of the church. Okay. Cool. Let's come up with some bonds for our characters. So we're gonna do it like, even though we're in a straight line over here, guys, imagine it circles back. So Kelsa, your left bond touches Liefington's right bond.
Right.
Right. So let's just kind of do this quick in order. If anyone immediately has a good idea for our bonds, go ahead and share it. Something that I'm thinking about for Audrienne. You have the technical expertise I need to help finish my research. I'll test my prototype.
But I won't do it. Oh, I love it. That's great. So as far as
the field test, my
Sevlin,
research.
Administrator Cross. Administrator Cross, I think.
I mean, yeah. If you ever need a good one, the good one is that you know what my issue is. Right? Like, not to say you should pick it, but I'm just saying that's usually a good one.
No, I like the bond of that. What if No,
yeah, now I can just think about it. Yeah, like you totally saw me take a briefcase full of shit sometime.
Yeah.
Do you want that? Do you want me to know that you're being blackmailed?
Well, maybe it's not the blackmail, but you know that I'm not straight, right? Like I'm shady.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, I know the administrator has a shady past.
You know, yeah, sure. It's only in my past, of course.
They're not to be trusted, essentially. Your relationship is that, so like professionally, you don't trust that person.
Okay. Yeah, I can feel that.
What about our bond? What do you think our bond's like? This is somewhat kind of difficult, I think.
Yeah. So is that it has to kind of pertain to the like current situation? Could it be like we go way back, we went to university together?
Yeah, we're friends, or we same graduating class or something like that. It's fine.
I think it's all right.
Was I your student, or were you my student?
Ooh.
Audrienne, were you like when you graduated? You know, like was I your teacher or somebody at the academy? Not even though like I work at Charter Hall University, I probably also like oversee some of the you know, trainings of the new Sparkrights, right? Like internally. You know what I mean? Like, not only do I teach, like, you know, physics or whatever at Charter Hall, I probably like because I work for the Sparkrights, I also probably run your like training program or whatever at the Sparkrights headquarters. I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, I mean, is that related to the
Our
expertise on your?
No, just
Yeah, I
you are a
mean,
student.
maybe.
We have a teacher-student relationship.
Yeah,
That's all you
yeah.
have to say.
Okay.
If you don't like it, you don't have to do it.
I mean, I liked having the expertise to field test your research and then just not wanting to do it.
No, that's no. I'm sorry. So I haven't explained this yet. You have a right hand. You have a bond with me. So
Yeah,
my
but
bond to
as
you
far as I
is
understood,
that.
it's just the same bond. Yeah,
No.
I write down the bond created by the player to your right. That's what it specifically says.
Yeah, but you can kind of like. Okay.
I was just gonna rephrase it from my
Alright.
point of view.
Oh,
that
okay. Let's do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Alright.
I have the technical know-how to further the research, but I won't do it. Like
Okay.
that's my half of the bond is that I could, but I won't.
Okay. And then now, what's our relationship, Liefington? What connects Sevelin Cross to Master Mazda?
Hmm.
What do you think?
So I don't know. I'm having trouble coming up with something that's cool. Because you kind of, everyone's connected to the university. I don't want to redo it again.
Why not? What's the first thing you're thinking of?
So it's already been done.
What if our bond is that you need that I can do the let's flip the other bond between me and Aedric. You know that I have the expertise to that could probably solve the ghost threat, but I'm not interested in it.
All right.
Right? So like I won't work on such things like that. Right? Like basically a weapon. I won't weaponize.
Oh yeah, it's 100% a weapon.
Able but not willing. Weaponize. Anti-ghost. Ah, perfect. Cool. I dig it. It looks good. I'm liking it. Now, the next thing we want to do, we want to come up with our crossroads, and our crossroads is going to be like our question about if will this thing happen? What is the problem that we're immediately facing down? And it should be something that we're interested in. I say this because this is technically part of the first step of the game, but we should probably talk about it and then kind of get it. So, what do you think? What are you thinking?
So, what is this supposed to be? Is this like the first issue we're gonna run into? Is this gonna be like the whole game is gonna come down to this thing?
Our whole game's gonna kind of come down to this thing.
If we go very quickly through scenes, we might see a second issue, but a second crossroads, but it's fairly unlikely in the amount of time that we have.
Right.
With 3 players, I mean, we might, but yeah, probably not. So I see all of us have kind of like research themed things. Like
yeah.
my character like has technical theoretical knowledge that they are not interested in putting to use. They are interested in doing their job, keeping their head down, and having orgies with the ecstasy of the flesh. As you do. Whereas as Aedric, your character is looking for a way to revolutionize power, but also has some ideas on how we could eliminate the threat of ghosts. whereas Administrator Sevlin wants to end the Ghost Menace forever, but doesn't really have a way to do that. Not directly.
No,
And-
it's like this bullshit, like privileged dream of like to end world hunger. We can totally do it.
Yeah. Okay. So I maybe the question or the
Oh shit.
crisis or crossroads is the word I'm looking for. Would be that just the basic question it has in our in the Blades book of, will we find an alternative power source, or will our efforts to find it lead to us being murdered in our sleep by the conspiracy that's against us?
Okay. So, it's will we? Okay. So the question is going to be phrased as do we invent the? Will we release the new power source? Okay. Will we?
So I have maybe a way of phrasing it so it could be a little bit more open and we could have different angles on it.
Will we research the new one?
It's does the lightning barrier stand?
Ooh.
Right. So if it's no, is it because it broke down? Is it because we made something new? If it's yes, is it because?
Interesting. Is it because it didn't break down, or because it
didn't break down?
New?
Did it get taken over?
Okay, interesting.
So the question is, does the lightning barrier get repaired? Then if it does, then we can list out yes, is there?
I mean, I'd phrase it as just stand rather than get repaired.
Or fall instead. Like, does the lightning barrier fall? Oh no, you moved the background, Eric. Everything is ruined forever.
Ruined. I like fall as well, because that could also be like for
like, we want the answer of that question to be no.
Right, I agree. Okay.
In theory.
Okay. Oh man, because I moved that fucking background.
Well, I can box my text pretty easily.
Oh, there we go. Fixed. Okay.
Saved.
Cool. So I made a quick little handouts, right? So I'm gonna read the quick reference. I'm gonna read the crossroads section, and then Kelsa, can you read the scenes and cards?
Probably.
Okay. This is under Kingdom Quick Ref. We've got our kingdom. We've got our characters. Now we're going to play to see how our characters shape the kingdom and how the kingdom shapes them. As players, we're going to confront the kingdom and our characters with crossroads. Critical decisions the kingdom must make. Decisions that may change the kingdom forever. Does the kingdom invade its neighbor? Does it outlaw the new religion? Crossroads are the major arcs of our game. They're the chapters of the story we're making. It's our job to make crossroads that push the kingdom and characters into territory that interests us. Never make a crossroad that doesn't interest you. You might even introduce a crossroad that you think your character dreads, but you think would be very interesting. Okay? Elsa, can you read scenes and cards?
No, I have to unmute first. Yeah. Scenes and cards. Before you see the final decision the kingdom makes about the crossroads, we'll take turns creating scenes and role-playing them together. We'll explore the crossroads and see what our characters think and do about it. We might find out that the situation is a lot more complex than we thought. Each of the 3 cards on the table is a countdown. On your turn, you get to pick which check completion. When all the boxes on the card are checked, we'll pause and see what actually happens. When all the boxes on the crossroads ping, I'm just gonna ping this. There we go, ping, are full, we play to see what choices the kingdom makes and what the consequences are. When all of the boxes on the crisis ping are full, we'll see whether the kingdom survives the crisis or is destroyed. Characters may flee the kingdom. When all the boxes on the time passes card are full, there is a break in the action, and our characters rest and reflect. Months or years will pass. When we finish a card, start a new one. And time passes is over here because I couldn't do both at the same time. Anyway, that's it.
Cool. Last thing, Liefington, can you read the roles for me in Kingdom Quick 2?
Of course. Each role gives you a different way to influence the kingdom and the crossroad. Perspective, playing as perspective, you can predict the consequences of picking different sides of the crossroad. It's your job to show us what's really at stake. If you're playing as a touchstone, you decide how the people of the kingdom feel and what they want. You can instantly define the kingdom and show us how the people react to what is happening. If you're playing as the power, then after seeing those consequences and hearing what the people want, you get to decide what the kingdom actually does. That doesn't seem fair, does it? Only power gets to decide what the kingdom does? No, it isn't fair, but it might be balanced. Power makes a choice, but perspective and touchstone determine the consequences.
Perfect. Eventually, someone's going to do something the kingdom doesn't like. You can do something about it. You can change your role, which is if you want a different voice in the kingdom, or your old role doesn't seem like a good fit anymore, you can change it. You can challenge another character to stop something if they do or establish. If power arrests someone, bust them out of jail. If a touchstone shows that people are angry, give them a speech to calm the mob. But if challenging them isn't enough, if you want to stop what another character is doing, you can overthrow them. You can change their role and force them to take something out. You can storm their capital, take away their power. These options are listed at the bottom of your role card. Be warned, nothing can take a player out of the game. A character can usurp and just pick a different role and keep influencing the kingdom in a different way. If you take away someone's power, they might return as a perspective and predict a dire future. Okay? So, that's where we're at right now. And now we can kind of begin play. So, with a crossroads of does the lightning barrier fall? I feel like we need to figure out something. Okay. We're at the fence. We are at the fence, or maybe we're actually maybe I'm like reading a report. Maybe it's actually the administrators reading me a report about what's coming. Yeah. Okay. Somebody comes in, part of the Spark Rights, who tells me I'm no longer able to work on my research. I need to stop, and I need to work on this problem, is repairing the electric fences. And I think it has to be the administrator Sevlin who comes in and tells me that. I think technically you outrank me. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let's play this out, right? So like we're doing the classic start of the Indiana Jones thing where like my class is getting dismissed, and I am writing on the board some equations, stuff like that, and remember do your homework and stuff. Pages 36 through 64, every prime number question, right? Don't forget, and like whether leaving, and don't forget part Q on 37, and then we go over that one's tricky, and we cut over, and you're coming in with this dire reporting.
Yeah, and he takes your seat at the desk, and it's like one of those like old-timey school ones where the teachers like way up high. They have their desk so they can like kind of see everyone. So he just kind of takes that and to show his authority.
Okay.
And starts reading this report, and it starts skimming over parts, and it's like, all right, so we have to pull you from your job.
No, that can't be. No way. Why? Administrator, there must be some mistake now. Let's not get hasty.
Listen, this project that you're running on, like it's not going anywhere. Like you haven't produced any results in like a month.
I need a breakthrough, and I'm so close. Look, if you could just modulate and I start techno babbling. about the electric field, and we could stop. We could prevent ghosts from moving through, right? Something like that. We just have to modulate the conductor's graviton states, and when we do that, we can I just keep rebelling. And then all I need is just like a month of field tests, and then this would be a dream come true. And like I'm telling you this, but it just you're not really interested.
Yeah. Like he follows it at some point, but then you kind of lose him. And he pipes up and he says like, well, but that's never gonna work with demon blood.
Well, I know that's why I've been working, and I like pull over some other notes. I'm like, look at this. I've been looking at some other ways of powering the fence that doesn't require Leviathan blood. Which is like, when I say that, it should be kind of hush hush, right? Like that's not something we're supposed to be working on. This is like a side project. Like, don't worry, I haven't spent any. I haven't used any Sparknight funds on Sparknights. John, you should change it to Sparknights. Awesome. I've been using any Sparknight time on this research. It's been completely personal, as in, so like, don't get me in trouble. I'm also lying, but
Yeah. I mean, I think you just kind of get overruled, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, ditch that project.
Oh, look, you don't. Administrator Severin, I totally get it. Totally understand that I need, but don't do that. Look, the ghosts are. I've seen other reports. It's a disturbing trend. The ghosts are getting stronger. If we don't switch to something other than Leviathan blood, like, I don't know, our fences are already operating near maximum capacity. We can't make them any stronger. If ghosts are getting through now, we need to change the source. We need to change the fences. It's our current state isn't enough. And I'm like really like arguing to do this. Also setting up for the crossroads to be like, if the barriers don't, or if the barriers fall, more ghosts will come in and fuck everything up. So what do you say?
Right.
You can totally just completely overroot, like, so like, that's nice, whatever, you're still working on that.
Well, God, I want to offer you a devil's bargain. Like, so
Yeah. Well, what do you
Devlin Cross closes the file and takes his glasses off because it's like casual mode, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, maybe if you work on my other project also, I could be convinced to spend funding on that. But just for your alternate power source, like I have stockholders breathing down my necks. I can't okay that, but I can, hide some funding if you do my other project. And I'm like referring to my weapons project.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
ghost weapon.
Yeah, Project Egon.
Yeah. Oh man, so like, say, who makes weapons? I'm not some, like, I'm not your weapons. I don't want to say weapons. Not your. Who makes guns? What do you call someone who makes guns? Gunsmith?
Yeah,
Doesn't
gunsmith.
sound armsman. Yeah. Not. No, I cannot. But at the same time, too important to not do. Ugh.
Listen,
Fine.
no one's gonna get shot by these new weapons. It's just for ghosts. It'll be totally safe.
Fine, give me it. I'll look it over. But you have to promise me. You have to promise me that you can cover and give me the funding to find this new power source. You have no obligations to. You could say yes, and you have no obligation at all. But of course, my character wants the issue.
Yeah. So he gives you like his word, but he's not gonna sign anything, right?
Yeah.
For that.
Okay.
So he's like, I'll get you funding, but you have to give me reports on how you're doing about
Of course, you're not
Project
going to sign
Egon.
anything. This is all under the table, like all of it.
I
will
like,
fund your secret project if you also research my secret project.
Exactly.
Shush, shush, shush.
But he needs reports, right? Like going a month without any like progress, like that's just not gonna fly.
That sounds like the end of the scene.
I think that is the end. So,
all right, what clock are you gonna tick there?
I'm gonna tick the crossroads.
Now, did you make a prediction about? You should put that on there.
I did as well. If yes, the ghosts go everywhere, but I'm also gonna make another one. If no.
We need more room for these yeses and nos.
I know.
You fucked up big time, Eric. You fucked up big time. I mean, not really.
I just start making extra boxes.
It's fine. Does that make it me, or is that the order we're going? I'm confused.
I think so.
Okay. Then I think this is actually at the fence.
Okay.
And I think that I have like I'm like in the middle of my work shift. I'm like in heavy leather like overalls with like a big like welding mask over my face and like thick gloves, and I'm holding some weird like steampunk tool with like a power pack on my back, and there's like coils and shit, and it glows with all of the electroplasm energy.
Don't cross the streams.
Yeah, and like it's probably you, Eric, that like comes up and you're like trying to recruit me. Because I feel like that would happen. So that's kind of the stage that I'm setting. Is like I feel like you come up, you kind of like up nod me, and I like stop, and I like power down whatever the fuck this tool is I'm using, and like
you're on the fences, right?
Yeah, we're like on the fence, like
okay.
Well, like
cool,
not like on the fence, but like up against the fence, on the edge. It doesn't really matter which part of town this is. I don't think
it doesn't.
We're zoomed in so close you can't tell. But like there's like one of those big poles that like they look like a
power lines.
Like I picture them more like Tesla coils.
Tesla coil. Yeah. I know exactly. Yep. Okay.
And like there's like a temporary one that's like set up that like we've like wheeled in on the back of a cart and like turned it on, and like we push it out just past the barrier and then turn it on, and then we turn off the other one so that we can work on it safely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and yeah, it's like a temporary one.
Yeah. And so like I flip up my welding mask and I like look at you hard, and I'm like, what do you want? I only have a little bit of time here.
Are you the one responsible for setting up the temporary plasma folder?
Yeah. It's my design.
Nice work. That's really good work. I see you. Wait, you've decoupled the mod. I start saying something, and ultimately I'm saying like, oh, so you're able to get and you finish my sentence of like,
like
double the output
back and forth for a minute,
and you're like, but it's like it's not a big deal to you. Like you just know, like I have the theoretical knowledge, but you have the practical knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like of course, like that's the way to do it, right?
Yeah, those fools were working with live electroplasm. It was bad scene.
Yeah, I see you froze the state to quadruple the.
It quadruples the output exactly.
That's really
of course
smart.
of course these temporary modifiers are not stable in a long-term environment, but in order to exact repairs, they're 300% safer. I've been breathing down the administrator's throat in order to get enough funding that we can make more of these. But they just, safety is not his top concern.
It doesn't seem the seems like the administrators of the Sparkrites, they're not in touch with what's really going on.
They're really not. We care about safety down here.
What can you tell me about the ghost threats?
The ghost threats?
Yeah.
And like the camera zooms like pans over to like the fence where you see like spirits just like whacking into the electroplasm and like
yeah, exactly, right?
And it is just like a foot over to the left, and I just kind of glance at it and I'm like, oh, that's what we're here for. It's to protect the people.
Yeah. And I see you're getting everything you can out of these old towers. They've been here for so long. I've been trying to tell the administrators that we need to be upgrading to new models. Yeah, they don't want to hear anything either. It's
newer models.
It's almost like the administration wants these things to fall.
That's blasphemy.
I feel I cannot come up with another reason for why they are so ignorant of realities of the situation. So, what are you trying to get out of me?
I'm wanting. I brought you here to like pitch to me to come work on your project.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
okay,
why you're here.
Perfect then. So then I use that to build into, but like, I could really use someone like you. You're a real go-getter, and between my labs and your expertise, we could design something that can, we can really like woo the administration and see that they have to get these things set up. They could be way more safe, and they provide power, like more efficient use of of power and require less maintenance.
Less maintenance?
Yeah.
Oh, I do like safety, but I don't know. Less maintenance seems like they'll put me in, I don't know if I want to put myself out of a job.
Oh, no, that won't happen. As I'm writing, I'll
go with you. I'll talk to the administrator.
Okay. That's perfect. I think if I can get a good consensus and support, I might be able to sway the case here.
All right. I think that's a good end of the scene there. So cool. I want to put a tick-a-tock on Crossroads, but I also want to put one on Crisis.
Do that as touch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you. Crises are interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, with 3 players, we might actually resolve a crossroad. This is crazy.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah, so I set up a scene, right?
Yep. Who's there?
So let's just have everyone here.
Just on the backs of what was going on.
Maybe it's like all right. We're in the docks. It's like a huge shipment of like the Liefington hunter came in. We got a huge shipment. It's like all hands on deck usually when that happens, because we need to like get that to the right place. And fast, because if it lies in the docks, then who knows gets their grubby hands on that shit. So it's usually like most workers, like all the mechanics are usually there just to help and oversee, and then they'll probably like scatter on different wagons to bring the stuff all over the place. But also like Mazda could be there to propose some stuff and talk to other higher up colleagues because they tend to be there, and the administrator is obviously there. So he's like God, I love just being taller than people. So he's like standing on a box, and he has like a clipboard, and he's seeing stuff go through. And
yeah. So I have a very concerned look on my, and I'm doing some tests of the new shipments, and it's not good. This is not good Leviathan blood. Risky. This is dangerous to you. And so I bring it up to you. I'm like, stop, and I kind of like scurry up to where you are, like because you're looking above.
I follow,
yeah.
Even though like I'm not directly
and I'm like holding like a some kind of like gizmotron, like I imagine in my head one of those things that reads radioactivity Geiger counter.
Yeah. Eric is techno babbling so hard this episode.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what happens when you play a research. So like I and like sticking out of the Geiger counter is a little like sample vial of high blood, and it's like showing like a dial that's like barely above 0, right? And I'm like, look at this. This Leviathan blood's old. It's spoiled. We can't use it. There's hardly any juice in it.
You need to listen. This kind of thing is what leads. This is the kind of thing that leads to accidents.
Yeah.
We lost 4 people last month due to spoiled blood. And if this new Leviathan blood shipment is bad off the boat, we're doomed.
All right. So
can we be sure it's off the boat? Severlin, where do we get this? Who do we make our orders from?
All right, Severlin, like the first thing he's gonna do is try to like whisk you away because you're making a huge scene.
Yeah, that's fair. So we go to like a private office.
I feel like it's just like behind some boxes and you can still see like
in the warehouse. Sure, in the warehouse, right?
In the same warehouse. He doesn't stop.
Yeah, and Aedric follows as well, just like
Aedric.
Yeah. Like and Adrian is obviously invited too. Like he's not like shutting you down because you're just a mechanic.
Invited or not, she's coming. Like that doesn't even matter.
All right.
That's not even a question.
What are we gonna do? This is bad.
This is worse than bad. This could ruin us. This could ruin Doskvol.
All right. So Cross is like, well, you better get on with your projects then to Mazda. This is all we got. Like the next shipment is scheduled to be here like in a month and a half.
Not gonna work.
Well, make it work. That's why I have you, right?
This is ridiculous. Just because I'm your master conduit, I can't make miracles. And I'm really upset, and maybe I'm thinking I maybe just storm out, unless you want to like talk to me.
Yeah. No, I do want to talk to you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna propose to you. Why? Listen, if the barrier is not gonna hold for that long for you to make another solution in the meantime, why don't you just work on my project? And then if the barrier fails, then we can just shoot the ghosts instead. But maybe being a little bit cryptic about it.
Yeah.
I feel like Odrian could probably catch on to shit going on though.
Well,
it's not tested. We have no idea what would happen if we supercharge the ghost field.
Well, we have theories.
And it would leave Duskvol completely exposed.
It's true. If it failed, it would fail catastrophically. We've only got one chance.
And like for the record, what I'm talking about is I think maybe you're thinking of something else when we're talking, because because you don't like we're talking about the weapon, and the weapons I'm imagining is like a massive EMP pulse kind of thing.
Okay.
Right? That can like kill ghosts in like a nuke. around the area.
Interesting. Yeah, and
I'm saying this would catastrophically turn off all the power because it's going to take all the energy to make this explosion. But you're thinking that we're talking about the fence.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Like, that's what I'm saying when we're having like this double speak right now.
It's perfect. I love it because you got me in on the like alternate power project, but not on the ghost weapon project. Yeah. So yeah, like I think definitely we're having two different conversations, and I don't know it.
Okay, cool. And then. Is that scene?
Yeah, I think Cross just tells you like just fucking do it. I'll like double your funding, and like since Audrienne seems to be knowledgeable about it, even though he may be totally misleading it, you get put on the project with Mazda, which is the twofold project of you don't want to do that. And the other one, maybe you want to do, because...
Yeah. So, guess what I'm going to say? Here's my response to it. While I'm walking out with Audrienne, I saw something on Administrator Cross. They were holding some really interesting letters. The Lady Penderyn.
Yeah, the only response is just like this.
I don't trust the administrator. I bet you the administrator is working with Lady Penderyn, and whatever happens, I think they want these things to fail because I think he's going to get a real nice golden parachute.
I don't trust him either.
She's going to get a one. So I'm going to say administrator gets fabulously wealthy.
If a lightning barrier falls?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, this is great. This is really great.
I'm thinking.
So, Paul, where are you gonna put your plus there?
Paul?
So
yeah. So
where can I put them?
You can put it in crisis, crossroads, or time passes.
All right. Do we like define a crisis that we're working towards, or is it just some nebulous crisis?
When the crisis happens, we define it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
I mean, I feel like crossroads and crisis both are again pushing.
You only get one though.
I only get one.
Yeah, they're pretty close to one another. In retrospect, we could have maybe modified our crossroads to make it a little bit different, but
yeah,
it's fine.
Really, does the lightning barriers fail? It's more like, should we maintain the new ones or replace them with?
Let's go to crisis, because like maybe having that accident with the shitty blood, like maybe it's not gonna like take it out completely, right? But it is gonna lead to a crisis.
So obviously, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to a scene, and I'm gonna have to go to Lady Penderyn. I'm gonna have to ask to buy Leviathan blood because we.
Okay.
So,
beautiful.
Want to play Lady Penderyn?
Sure.
I mean, otherwise it actually could just be like a vignette scene of me crawling, to her and being like we don't have a choice. Like, we need Leviathan blood, and you're the only one who's selling it. Yeah. All right. So somebody want to be Lady Penderyn then? Because that's what I'm saying. But if someone has like an interesting cost to it or something like that, let me know. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, no, I hate meeting you, but we don't have no choice. We need Leviathan. Short story: the Leviathan blood we bought off Spangford is bad. I can tell you as a player, what I want to know is if this was intentional to us. Is this an endemic to Doskvol that the Leviathan blood's bad, or something else? Right? Like, is it a conspiracy that all Leviathan blood's bad, or is there like a poison? Did I just go offline?
I don't think so. I think you're still online.
My stats say I'm offline, but it says I'm still broadcasting.
I mean, I still see the stream.
No,
up?
I see live. I see live on it. Okay.
Okay.
No, you're currently not online.
What?
Yeah, you're streaming on my screen still.
I'm taking a screenshot of this because this is some fucking bullshit. Okay. All right, if you guys can still see me, then fine. I mean, I'm seeing the previews still, but I have no stream health or stats,
Weird.
so I don't know. Okay, well, I'm gonna pretend that it's going. Okay. All right.
I can see the stream, so I'm going to assume that yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Sorry about that. All right.
Okay. So I'm thinking Lady Penderlin is on the side that would get Sevlin Cross out of office, right? Like she's gonna give you money, but it's because then you can testify that Cross is a like shitty administrator buying crap that endangers the whole city. And
because you thought that he was there to get a bunch of money, but it's not from Lady Pendrin. At least she's the one blackmailing him. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. So what are you? So basically, the offer from Lady Pendrin is that she's offering incriminating stuff. I need to get incriminating stuff on the administrator. Is that the price that I have to pay to get this? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. And I'm like I hate playing politics, but desperate times calls for desperate measures. We need this Leviathan blood. I handshake Lady Pendrin. Have a deal. A better Leviathan blood. So
I feel like it's this like really screwed up situations like the war on cocaine in Latin America where the government was supplying guns but then also fighting these guys, and it's just like Lady Pendrin is like you just don't know which side she is on because she's on like every side seemingly.
So I'm saying Cross gets fired if the lightning barrier fails. As a consequence. So not only could it be, so I'm saying like it's theoretically it could be that Pendrin gets to own half the fences. It's that Audrienne gets to keep her. I'm saying it right. Audrienne gets to keep their job.
Audrienne.
And then Sevlin Cross gets fired, jailed. Is another consequence. But if the lightning barriers do fall, say Pendrin. Runs as admin.
Ooh.
That's part of the deal of the blackmail, right? Or maybe not herself, but like a surrogate. You know what I mean?
Her puppet.
Her puppet, right?
Yeah.
Her puppet. Puppet's the
puppet. Puppet's a good word.
Kind of like what you would do. Vassal wouldn't be actually the better one.
A
vassal dictator, essentially. Mm-hmm. Trying to vassalize. Perfect. Okay. That was my short scene. That's my perspective. I'm gonna boop the crossroads up by 1. Well, that's cool that it went randomly to 3. That's some lucky ass shit because it's also the same color. I just want to say that that's really awesome because that's a 1 in 16 chance, and I just crushed it.
Hacks.
That was my bad. That's some sweet hacks right there.
I don't know what you were doing, but okay.
So I made these clocks here, rollable tables. And so I hit random. I accidentally hit random side instead of choose side, but the random side was the right side.
Oh,
which is really
that's
hard
cool.
to do because my clocks are multiple colored.
Yeah.
Those are really cool. Oh, I see you changed the color on that one.
They are really cool, and they're free on Google Plus's role playing or Blades in the Dark Google Plus community group. You can see my post there with the Photoshop files and the images and instructions on how to set up. So go ahead and do that and bring your Doskvol to life.
To life.
With clocks.
Or on life. But yes.
So
anyway,
yeah,
all the
I
cool
get a
kids are
scene.
doing it. All the cool kids are doing it. So yes, you get a scene.
So I think this is in the experimental labs. Okay. Me and Mazda are like working on which project are we working on? Are we working on the ghost like weapon, or are we working on the alternate power source?
The power. I think.
When
Which one's more interesting? Because I think
I was gonna say
both.
when Administrator Sevlin comes in. like
Power
we're
source.
we're in we're in the middle of like working on the power source.
Because I think it would be more interesting to see if Lady Sevlin's like, why aren't we working on the other thing, right?
Minister Sevlin's like, why are we working on that? So like I picture we're like in the lab, and the lab is brightly lit. It's surprisingly white. It's like very much like you might picture like a far future sci-fi with like very white walls, very white tables, but there's no computers, obviously. But there are like sheets of paper with notes on them. With there's like chalkboards written up with a bunch of notations that mean nothing, because you don't actually have electroplasm to, there's like some symbol that like represents like electroplasm and like its properties that we don't have in modern technology parlance. And we're like working on something where we're like we're replacing the electroplasm with something else. And
yeah, like I don't know what they're replacing it with.
It's maybe it's like some mold extract or something from the Deathlands.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
And we're wearing like masks, like rebreathers, because it is highly toxic. Of course.
Better idea. Slightly better idea. It's demonic.
Ooh.
Or it uses something about.
Okay.
Or maybe it's something about a demon.
Well, I mean, like
it could be
like
both.
Leviathan blood is
both.
already demonic, but maybe this is like some demon mushroom.
Yeah.
And we're still using the demon power from it, but we're getting it from more easily cultivatable demon mushrooms instead of insanely powerful Leviathans.
Exactly.
You don't have to go out on a boat to the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, demonic.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. I love
it. And so we're like in this very pristine lab, except then you see like the demonic spores are like dark and black and just like seeping light, like sucking light in.
Yeah. Oh man, that's cool. They make shadow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They like exude shadow. There's like not actually anything tangible, but it's
like reverse bioluminescence.
Exactly like that. And so we're like we have like small machines that are like miniature versions of the lightning fence or the large like a miniature generator, basically.
Dude, of course it's a fungus. Oh my god, because then it makes like a fungal network, and we're trying to learn how to like grow it like a network, like around the city.
Oh man, it would be great. Okay,
that's awesome.
So we're testing it. We're like turning it on for the like maybe not the first time, but like the first 2 or 3 times things exploded.
Test 3Q, recording, subject state at variable levels, blah 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 blah, initiating test, and what happens?
Yeah, and so like
and then the administrator comes in. Is that the thing?
Yeah, and like we're about to flip the switch when the administrator comes in. Sure. So like we've got this all set up, and that's when Administrator
like
Cross
knocking
comes
on the
in.
glass.
Yeah,
like through on the other side.
Yeah. You're like watching through like some glass window into the
and it's like super dangerous because you could break the glass and like never touch the glass, but he's like doing it anyway.
Yeah, of course. So I look over and I'm like super like salty, but you can't tell because all of my protective equipment.
Yeah.
And I kind of like look to Mazda and just kind of like, this is your problem. Like, sup boss, you deal with this.
Yeah, that makes sense. I put my head down a little bit and I put on a smile because I have to. I tell you to cancel the test. Be like, test 3Q canceled, or delayed.
And I start like shutting things down because it was like revving up to the test process, and now I have to start flipping switches.
Power drain, right? as
Mm-hmm,
we
mm-hmm.
as I leave the test facility part and go to
Yeah.
talk to. You're like, you had such high hopes for that test. What's going on?
You failed the report.
What are you talking about? I
I'm
reported
gonna
this.
have Adrian take over this project if you don't listen to me.
If this is about your weapon project, look, I'm working on it. I told you that I'm just waiting on a coil shipment. I'm lying. I'm I'm putting up whatever type of tactics I can. Stalling. I'm stalling for time, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I told you, like, we need weaponized coils, and only Scotland still has them. I put in an order. I had some people talk. It's all okay. This is taking longer than I thought. I don't know. Right? I'm literally lying through my teeth right now. You can choose whether or not you believe.
I think he's like even calling you on your shit. It's like no orders were placed. Like I called, like where you said before that you would get those coils from, and it was gonna take a long time, but administrator cross checked that shit, and like you never placed the order.
Oof.
So he's calling you on your shit.
Got me, but I can't kill ghosts. All right, I can't do it. I can't in conscious eradicate every single ghost in whatever mile radius of Doskvol.
I think this is the point when Adrian like walks out, like she's finally finished shutting everything down, or she's like, I can't eliminate ghosts.
Yeah,
and then
I can't do it. I don't have
like she walks in at that point, and then she looks at Amasta completely shocked, and it's like, blasphemer! I knew you were a blasphemer. You can't eliminate ghosts. They're the enemy. Spirits are the bane of existence.
I can't work like this, and I leave. And obviously, I'm losing my master conduit.
And Adrian, you're getting a promotion.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. That's
okay.
So good.
Brilliant. I think that's the end of the scene. I want to put one tick on Crisis, but I don't want to fill that clock yet. I'm going to put another tick on Time Passes because I don't think we got anything done. Like, not really.
Listen. Okay. I'll progress. Passes. Let's add another. Does the lightning... If the lightning barrier doesn't fall, Mazda gets their job back.
Yep. That's a good one.
And if the lightning barrier does fall,
cool.
aha, choices. Choices.
Did you put another one in Crisis or no?
I put it in Time Passes. Oh, I did not move.
Oh, one and another one in Crisis and another one in Time Passes. Both.
You said that, and I just neglected
to
do it.
There we go. Perfect.
Go.
Brilliant. Love it. That's my deal.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, cool. So you have Crisis at Crossroads. You have another scene.
It's Paul scene.
Mine, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Former. And that means I'm going to lose my I think I'm going to also lose my perspective as dead. No, I think I still have perspective, but I'm just the former. I think that's actually more. I still know what I'm talking about, but
so I think actually, as a result of this, I lose my touchstone, but I am now in a position of power.
Ooh.
Oh, you can have 2 powers. That's possible, right? That's completely fine.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think that now I am in a position of power as well. Like I maybe not equal power to the administrator, but I know about his past, and I think that I definitely have a non-trivial amount of power in my new position.
Yeah. That's...
All right. Well, let's use that then. Administrator Sevlin is like defending to some official. I don't know if it would be like nobility or a magistrate or something that like the offense isn't going super great. But he's defending it with like, hey, we got this new project, and Odrin is kind of defending it for him, like she's the technobabble, because Cross, like, he has some training, but like he would maybe get it as an engineer, but like no way it's a conduit, right?
Gotcha.
But while Odrienne is like, techno babbling, and she has like the PowerPoint presentation.
Babble. Yeah, right. But it's like it's not a PowerPoint. It's like an actual projector with like a lamp and shit.
Yeah.
Like that is technology you could have in Duskvol. So it's
nice.
Like beautiful. I love it.
God, you used to have those in my primary school. You have like just the see-through sheets. Oh, God.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. But Cross is like standing off to the side with some other like rich-looking guy. And he's like, he's kind of telling him like, Mazda's out of the picture, and it's shady dealings. Mazda's out of the picture. I got Odrienne, she's working on a different project. Like, we don't have to worry about that Leviathan blood project. Like, that's just like completely tanked right now.
Yeah, and Odrienne is like that's going on, like your conversation is going on like in like the audience, or like in an alcove to the side as I'm like giving this speech, and Odrienne is like explaining like we've made leaps and bounds in progress here. This new weapon will revolutionize the way Duskvol, in fact, all of Akrios, all of the Shattered Isles, deals with the threat of rogue spirits. We will finally be able to live as we were meant to live, without the horror of spirits terrorizing us. I think, what Cross doesn't know, and what she's not telling in this speech, this weapon will rip souls out of people.
Oh yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the weapon will kind of like hurt people, and
like it will destroy the ghosts. Yeah. But that includes
your part
ghosts.
of the ghost field of you is also hurt. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. That's my contribution right there. Just gonna state that that's a fact now.
All right, so if the lightning barriers do fail, I feel like this should be its own crossroads button. Is do we launch the weapon? Which
that's
I think
completely
actually
different.
that would be another crossroads.
Yeah. Do we use it? Well, did you want to do anything more with this scene right now, Paul?
Not really.
Okay. So where would you like to put your check mark right now?
Yeah.
You want to resolve this crossroads?
Like I was kind of pushing towards the crisis thing that it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Okay,
done before
Yeah, you can finish the crisis.
there's a solution.
Uh-huh.
Because Cross is a dirty administrator who just stalls for his own gain.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds
Sure.
pretty on brand.
So let's go for that. And it's like, the lightning barrier is fine. And also we're working on this other
I like
cool
how we're playing
project.
some fucking super corrupt power company. Awesome.
Oh, it's super good. Okay.
Okay.
I have not. So, are you putting a check onto Crisis that we fill
On
the
to
crisis
crisis.
block?
Yes.
Okay, so the
I
crisis
haven't
block
actually
goes in.
played a Crisis finishing. This is exciting.
Awesome. So we have the crisis filled in. Does anybody want to do reactions? Who's seen it was that wasn't or didn't do it? So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, Kelsa, you have a reaction scene before we try to resolve the crisis.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I have one. I am groveling to Lady Penderyn, for help. Now that I've been graced as the master conduit. Now, look, if you can get me back on the spark rights, like I need to do my life's work. Like, let me do my research. Right? Let me find this power source, and I will give you the benefits. I don't care. Research is more important than. I'm such an idiot. But I don't say that. I don't say that part. I'm such an idiot. That's Mazda is absolutely a person. Lives in the progress and knowledge. Yeah, so let's resolve this crisis, guys. This is gonna be super fun because resolving crises are always bad. Essentially.
Oh yeah. So
right.
First we each have a little so
we
I'm
decided
looking at
this is
the
gonna
rules
be the
here.
end of the game. This is gonna be the end of the game today. This does not change how the crisis is resolved, but it may change what players decide to make happen. If the kingdom is destroyed, the game ends, whether you plan to stop it or not.
I don't feel like I don't plan on being the end, but it might be.
Well, it might be the end only because we may not have enough time to do another. I'd rather get a more solid, just end on a solid note, or at least once go around the.
That's reasonable.
What do you think, Paul?
Do you want to weigh in there?
You're the Time Lord.
God, yeah. Let's end it on the crisis.
Okay.
Sure. Just because, sorry, audience, but because I knew Asteyni wasn't gonna be here, I kind of figured we weren't gonna play, so I planned something, and then we were playing anyway.
Okay.
That's fair.
Me and Eric forgot that Asteyni wasn't going to be here, and we were super hyped to play. So thank you for indulging us.
Yeah, I was super hyped because I couldn't play yesterday or last week, and I wanted to do something. I can do something for you.
Listen, I also want some blades in my life, but
right when we can't get a blades in, then we're just gonna play the games.
This is good though.
I'm super interested in doing things like this in the course, when we can't get everyone together. If we I'm super interested in the idea of playing around with other stories set in Duskvol.
Did I tell you about the time when I played House of Reeds set in Duskvol?
No, but that sounds awesome.
It was good. Oh. It was really good.
Wait, no, anyway. I think you did. But anyways, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, we have to start with what is the crisis. All right. So, if it's not entirely clear, describe the nature of the crisis threatening the kingdom right now. The person who checked the last crisis box, Paul, you can go ahead and start describing it. All the players should agree on the general nature of the crisis, but do not go into detail or take action yet.
So, I think that there's like something goes bad with the bad Leviathan blood. Like a post, like one of the older posts. Not the one Odrian was fixing, because like she's a super baller engineer, or was anyway, before she got promoted. But like another one, like one of the new ones at the Lost District. Like
Hold on.
it just fails, and a bunch of ghosts pour in.
Aquamag is a really good point. Is this canonical? Are we doing something canonical to our game?
I
kind of want it to be.
Like, sure.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's canonical.
It is now. All right. Brilliant.
Okay. All right. So, there's a ghost breach in the what?
From the Lost District.
From the Lost District.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that puts it. Where's my Blades map?
That's near north. No, wait. Oh, that's southwest.
I don't even know which side is north anymore on the map. I like kind of know the general
that's why
layout.
I'm pulling up the map right now.
It's near Six Towers and Brightstone.
Oh yeah,
so
perfect.
It's northeast technically. It's northeast, not southwest.
So it would be like right at the edge of Brightstone, which puts it very close to the Venetian. If this is canonical to Never Sunny.
Cool. Yeah.
So, there's this is very close to the Venetian.
Okay. Cool.
For those following at home.
All right, so that's what happens. So what do we see? Each player paints a picture of the crisis by describing what their character sees happening around them.
Okay. That would be starting with Paul again.
I think so.
So I think he gets made aware of it by like some technician, some lower level, like he's wearing like some coveralls. He has like that headband where you would wear like your mask, like it's still imprinted on his forehead, and he's like out of breath, and it's like, you know, this thing broke, the lightning fence broke at Brightstone. And it looks like he just fucking ran his butt off to report that shit.
Yeah, awesome. I think what I see is this is like after the first response. But like, you know, we have spirit wardens, we have a bunch of like literally like the city itself is like helping right here and doing things, and I'm trying to like convince the administrator, be like, God damn it, you know, I know what I need to, like, you need as much help as you can get. Get me out there. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So like I need to be convinced back to be allowed back onto the force to kind of like help solve this. So what I see is like a lot of like the disaster and like people getting to the fences. Like, I know how the fences work. Like I'm an extra man. You know what I mean? I'm not like listen, and I show him something like I'm from Charter Hall. You know, I can't be possessed. Like, let me on. I can help. Kind of thing. This is going on because we need to get someone out there to restore the power. Right? That's the thing. So I'm like begging with some officials to get me past the safe line.
Cool. So I want to like bring in some more of the canon from Never Sunny, since we're deciding that this is definitely canon to that same storyline. Because right now the city is like overrun by all the Imperials.
Yeah.
And I picture that since Audrienne is now the Master Conduit, she is the one in the university. Just like this scene kind of mirrors the original one where you know, Mazda was in the university, there was a class letting out, all that stuff happens, except she's in the university, the class is like panicking, filing out of the room as there's like the bells tolling as people are dying. And like what she sees is like the Imperials are like walking down the street, like trying to impose order, and like a lieutenant or something like bursts into her classroom and is like, "You're coming with me."
Yeah. And
she doesn't have a choice.
No, not at all. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's dope. Cool. Love it. Okay. What So that's kind of like what do we all? So that's what we see. We kind of described what our characters do. Do we try to stick around, or do we try to save our skin? It kind of sounds like we're trying to save our own skin. So now we have to decide on the outcome of what's going to happen.
So yeah, we each say what we do, because this was like what we see.
Yeah.
So now we like say what we do.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I know for a fact I'm trying to get that wall repaired. I'm not Duskvol, like, the spark rights aren't gonna go anywhere. Like, this is our job. We're gonna fix this.
Yeah, and I maybe the scene is you and me like elbow to elbow, like working on getting this fixed. And there's like spirits like going around us, and like you're not even in any protective gear but we finally like got you there. And like I have like the alternate power source, like I have it, and we're like looking at each other like, do we risk a field test right now?
We don't have a choice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So where's Cross?
Because I'm the only one. I'm like the only one who can help you, right?
Yeah, exactly. No one else could.
Yeah, so that makes perfect
all right.
sense.
I'm gonna be a giant backstabber.
Yeah, you are.
Of course.
And sell the entire project to who are the ghost hunter guys? The Spirit Wardens. Like, we're selling it. Hey, like we got this new thing. It's supposed to kill ghosts. I can sell it to you right now.
So we're like they're dealing with the crisis, and you're like in a back room, smoke-filled room, like selling our ghost killing device that you don't know will also kill a bunch of humans.
Oh yeah, like he doesn't know it will kill humans, but he's like, it kills ghosts, and like he has like the shadow copies of stuff. He has like samples that like went missing from the lab or that were supposed to be destroyed, and he's like, I can sell all this shit to you, like.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Before he gets out of town.
Okay.
Of course. Okay. Then all characters are part of the kingdom will share its fate. If it falls with you. If you want out, you can try to escape. Show your character giving up on the kingdom and fleeing instead of trying to save or destroy it. Abandoning the kingdom always weakens it. Your vote is automatically thumbs down. The kingdom is destroyed in the next step.
The next step is voting. All right. And now we have to vote on the outcome of our kingdom. Based on what's described, each player decides whether they think the kingdom should stand or should it fall. This is a decision you make as the player, not as the character. Each player will stick out their hand and vote simultaneously. Thumbs up if you want the kingdom to survive. Thumbs down if you think it should fall. Hand flat if it's neutral. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually type in our answer into Roll20. This way we don't have to worry about timing different things.
Sure.
Okay. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to do -1 if you want your -1 if your character tries to escape.
Or you vote
1
that it should fall.
Yeah, if you vote should fall. 0 if you want your hand neutral, and 1 if you want the kingdom to survive. Okay?
Okay.
When everyone has something ready, let me know. But don't press enter yet.
I am ready.
I am ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
1, 1, -1.
I figured that was how it was going to play out, but
oh god,
it's good.
It's a net
I mean, I was pretty sure about myself and how I projected, but I wasn't.
No, that's
sure about
right.
Kelsa.
You played it exactly right. Okay, so the kingdom did not get destroyed. It's positive. The kingdom survives. The spark rights are still around.
That's good.
We were able to get the power source that's this alternate thing going. But for how long, and do we know the effects of what it is? Don't know, right? But this is weird. This is kind of bad in a way.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's going to exactly happen. The next thing, so our kingdom wasn't destroyed.
I did think about voting neutral, and which would have really been chaos, but
yeah. So our kingdom wasn't destroyed, but we can choose if we want to retire their old character or start a new one, or maybe play with the same character, like for the quote unquote next round. But this is the end of the game. I would completely keep playing Treblinka Mazda because
Mhm.
I think that's awesome because now we're gonna have to deal with like season 2 of this game is the conspiracy parts of like so the Spark Rights have this like now fucking weird fungus thing powering half the grid up here to get this thing
Mhm.
going. We have residual ghosts in the city. We have we just sold a weapon like a theoretical weapon to the spirit wardens. Um and we still have to decide what was actually going to happen to the rest of the lightning bear.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I see
So,
some more clocks on your GM page.
wow. Well, that's a fucking awesome way to start a game. Wow,
This
guys.
was such a great idea.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that we did this.
me too. I'm super glad. This would actually be really fun. Um, like instead of rather doing like a faction turn, like just sometimes just play a faction real quick to just like set up the landscape of a Blades game could be fun. This would be really cool. I still think I still really want to do the Wasteland Scavengers, the Darkland Scavenger game of Durance. I think that
Mm,
would be super fun. When you guys are out in like a colony out in the Darklands trying to make do to
that
earn
would be
your
interesting.
freedom back to civilization. But
That would certainly be interesting.
yeah, so that's Kingdom. That's at least one iteration of Kingdom. Oh my god.
Whew.
So Paul, yeah, isn't the game kind of weird? Like it's hard to, like it doesn't really make sense at the start until you play it a little bit.
I think it has this thing, the same thing as microscope, where it's like so broad that sometimes it's like hard to be like, all right, this is the thing I want to see.
Oh, you mean yeah, like it might be that's so weird. It might be because it's designed by the same person.
Yeah, right. Uh,
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, it's a making
uh, and it's
making a
not a
broad game's really hard.
yeah, and that's not a bad thing, but it can be a hard thing, right? I
Mhm.
think it helped me a lot that I was kind of, I had a lot well, I had two amazing players to play with, but I also had like way more context of like, not just nebulous kingdom of nowhere
Yeah.
uh, that I
Mhm.
could pull from that helped me out. Being like a huge scumbag, like he started out being so like, oh man, I just want to like be rid of the ghost, and then everyone is happy, and it's like
But it's
but
more fun when
But
you
he's
do.
actually I'm
also a
just stuffing my
Yeah,
pocket
it's
scumbag.
like way better to do the.
because like fuck everyone, and I'm gonna get rich, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Uh, because but that was also inspired by Blades in the Dark, because that's what
Mhm.
officials in Blades in the Dark do.
I love the
They
Yeah.
just
point
get
when you were
rich,
like, "I'm
rich
going to
on the
offer
back.
you a devil's bargain."
Yeah, that was exactly what the game needed, dude. You did it right.
Oh,
That
so
was
good.
perfect.
So yeah, I like it. I would love to play either through this. I'm not sure how much it's
I would
supposed to be like one
yeah.
session or if it's supposed to be for continuous play.
No, it's actually designed for continuous play. It's
All
designed
right.
for long form.
Mhm.
So that could be interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not sure if I would want there to be like a couple of characters you could pick from and be like, all right, now I'm playing this guy and he's whatever.
I
Or
think
if the one character per player
Hmm.
is enough. But I'm
yeah.
just not experienced with the game enough to make a
Um
good
I
judgment
think
on that.
I think I'm going to consider I'm just as a game master and stuff on my channel. I'm going to consider doing a longer game of King as like a game on
Ooh.
like a 5 session or something like that. Also, like I like some of the games that we really like that need a little bit more time to bake, like Polaris. I like to do a Polaris game that's a little bit longer than a one shot. I'd also like to do Firebrands, like that's like a 2 or 3 session game, and then I like
Mhm.
to do Kingdom as well. Never interested. Yeah, you did hear a longer form. Those are the 3 that are on the table for going forward. Possible, So I might cheat Once Upon a Game a little bit and say that instead of being Once Upon a Game, it might be Twice Upon a Game. and do like three, like back to back to back, just quick series of kingdoms. Anyways, yes,
And I think the thing I struggle with most is like coming up with a crossroads like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Of be like, oh, what is gonna be the huge issue? And it's like, holy shit, right?
Yeah, because
Like
you're just thrown to the woods to ask this like super hard question.
the hard question that's like, like you decide what you're gonna write about, and it's like it's gonna be a war novel, or it's gonna be
Yeah.
like an historical drama,
For what
or
it's worth,
I'm gonna paint a lady riding a unicorn,
there's a
over the
lot.
sunset.
So like in the book, there's a bunch of seeds. Like look at this blank white page you can't see because of the light. There's a bunch of like seeds for games in the back that give you all those sort of like quick little setup things and give you more context to help you play with. So like if you actually really wanted to try Kingdom, I would recommend doing something like that. That's probably what I would.
Well, that's why I really liked doing this, where we use the seed of one of the factions of Doskvol
Yeah.
as what we were.
It gave us a little more grounding and context.
For sure.
Like the first time I played Kingdom, we did it. We completely made up this world. We were a traveling circus band, like a troupe.
Nice.
That was weird. Yeah. So and I was playing some like wizardly crone perspective person. And we were like selling our like nobody wanted us in this towns and like this really sad. Anyways, it's a fun game. I highly recommend you. I think the only other place I think I've ever seen is Counterweight, Friends at the Table. Right? Has AP played Kingdom?
I don't think so.
He might be the only other person I know in the universe game who could like, like you like I don't know. Kelsa, why don't you do it?
Why don't I do it? I mean, I could. I definitely
Yeah.
could. I should. I need to stream some of my own shit on my own shit. That's true.
Right.
How are you gonna find time in your gigantic schedule of streaming on other people's shit?
That's the problem. That is the problem. I mean, I also have a day job, and that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah,
turns
right?
out.
Dude, I know, dude. Full-time jobs suck. That's why we do all this stuff on the.
Right.
God, I'm starting. I know I have so many games I'm starting, and it's just like, I can't do everything I want to do, dude. If I didn't have to work full time, I could easily play 5 more games. I'm a machine. I can play as many games. I mean, to be fair, I do need like a couple of days to relax.
You need a little bit of sleep at some point, but what else?
I can do like a Once Upon a Game. Like things that are just prepless, the things that require prep actually are anxiety. Anyways, let's what else are we doing? Who has some cool stuff going on to talk about? How about Kelsa? How about the things you were starting that you?
So yeah, I talked about some of the stuff that I've been doing. So next week I am going to be in 7 game streams, which I've done once before in a week, and it was a lot, and it's crazy. But I'll go through them all real quickly so you can find out where you can find me. On Monday, I am going to be running a Games of Blades in the Dark, Smooth Criminals, over on Tuxedomus's channel. On Tuesday, I'm going to be a guest spot on Time to Tabletop. We're playing 5th edition D&D. I am playing the stupidest character I've ever played in a D&D game. I have an intelligence of 5. I'm very excited. It's a lot of fun. I'm a dwarf paladin with an intelligence of 5, and it's brilliant. On Wednesday, I am playing Burning Wind with RP Glory in the morning, and that's a Burning Wheel campaign based in the world of the Name of the Wind, which is really sweet. Then Wednesday evening, I'm back over on Tux's channel for the first episode of Longfall, which is a open legend campaign where we are all on a giant floating, like interconnected floating islands where ground does not exist, with a bunch of cool fantasy races. My character is half bird, half cat person. It's pretty sweet. Then on Thursday is Apocalypse World with Misclicks, Apocalypse World Countdown, where I am Granny Gucci, once a savvy head, now a driver, as we face the end of the world. Then on Saturday, I'll be back here for actually Blades in the Dark when we play Never Sunny. And then in the evening is going to be the first session of Winter's Edge 2, which I got a shirt for. Look at this.
Yay, Winter's Edge.
I'm so excited. Like actual physical merchandise for the show that I'm on. It makes me very, very excited.
Yeah, it's cool. That reminds me. I need to set up my Teespring. Yeah, I just haven't done that.
You should do that.
Because I'll have Once Upon a Game shirts.
Ooh.
I have a proof of concept that I wear. Okay.
Yeah.
You can rep me at cons.
I will.
Okay. So that's awesome. Liefington, what do you do? How can people find you?
You can follow me on Twitter, where I will occasionally post drawings, or here on Saturday on this time slot, where we usually play Blades in the Dark, but sometimes not, and that's still super cool. But that's it. I'm not findable in very many places online, but I'm always lurking.
Fair enough. All right. So that will do it for us today, everybody. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm getting out of here. I'm probably gonna get drunk. Happens. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's a great idea.
That's what I thought, right? So this is us signing off. Take care.